are legends round here, even if only in their own minds. Forgotten, but not dead. Some have tried to stop them, but they keep coming back. Coming to entertain you. They are the Crystal Lake Soldiers.
Welcome back, campers, to the Crystal Lake Soldiers podcast. My name's Isaiah, joined by Mark and Sean tonight. How are you guys doing?
Pretty good, man. How you doing?
I'm doing all right.
Not too bad, not too shabby. It's a good night. We got some good stuff to talk about tonight. Starting off, though, we're going to kick things off with some wrestling news and rumors. So, with the big changes coming up here this next week with WWE and AEW starting their weekly show, we want to kind of focus a little bit on that. So to start things off here, this is kind of more of a rumor right now, but there's been talk that CM Punk has been meeting with Fox regarding WWE's backstage show that's going to be on FS1 to be a part of that. The story goes that he actually went and auditioned and did some stuff, you know, working with Renee Young and stuff to kind of see how he would fit into it. So that could be interesting if this does end up being true and him being a part of this in any form with WWE again.
I'm kind of over the CM Punk thing. I mean, I'd like to see him coming back wrestling. Of course, I know he's getting a little older, but
yeah,
I guess he's back, so we can have fun with it. If he's back, since it's a rumor.
Right. It could be very interesting. I mean, you know, obviously the whole blow up from 2014 when he left and basically quit the company.
That's why
and
I heard it was through Fox, because I was surprised if it would have been through WWE.
Right,
Vince,
and I think
he's buried the hatchet sometimes, but that wasn't that long ago, so I still see him being an ass.
Right, no, definitely. And then, because I know he did StarCast when AEW did their most recent pay-per-view, and he had a pretty good Q&A, and he did talk about how he's open to, you know, work with or talk to WWE again. So maybe that was kind of the start of that. And, you know, if this ends up being true, that's a big step in the right direction. So that could be interesting to see him back in some capacity in WWE if this ends up being true. So that's going to be something to kind of look forward to, because I know WWE Backstage starts in November, so it's not starting this week, obviously, but that's coming in the beginning of November.
It could be a pretty good show, as long as it's truly like a backstage show. I think it will be, since it's on FS1. It should be almost like a sports kind of show. So.
It's from what I was
take on wrestling.
Yeah, because what I was gathering from it is it's going to kind of more be like their pre and post shows that they typically do for like the pay-per-views, just on a weekly basis, and it's going to be more news focused and stuff like that. So, yeah, there's going to be discussions because it's Renee Young and Booker T are kind of the main people, and then they'll have a rotating cast of people that'll be there. So. It'll be good, I think, and I think it'll be a great way to introduce new people and people that want to get their updated WWE news. It's going to be a good option for them during the week. Now, talking WWE still, obviously this week starts the new changes with everything that's happening with Fox getting SmackDown on Friday nights. So both shows are getting overhauls completely. So there's new graphics, new stages, new music for both shows. I'm excited because SmackDown's getting a little AC/DC, which I love AC/DC. So that's great. Commentary changes. So you got new people on Raw.
Which I'm looking forward to first.
Yeah. Because the story goes that
to all this, honestly, I'm like, you know, sometimes even though they keep saying we're hitting reset, but I'm looking forward to the whole new stage, new music, all that.
Yep.
It's good to freshen things up. It's been kind of stale and all looking.
It really has. It really has. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, because it's like because Paul Heyman obviously is, the creative director over Raw, and he really wanted these two newer guys for commentary. And then, Vince was fine with that, but he wanted somebody more established to be there to kind of help along. And so that's why Jerry Lawler's a part of Raw again, at least for the time being, because it's not
Short
necessarily
term's probably
for everything.
best anyways.
Right. Exactly. So it's going to be good. I mean, the way that they're shaking things up, I mean, they're bringing Pyro back, which has been needed for the last 10 years. Because, I mean, honestly.
Fireworks. I've been to some shows, even like live, shows that are on TV. When there's no pyro, it's missing that big show appeal that WWE normally has.
They're really taking AEW serious, that's for sure, because they were kind of blowing it off like, look at this pissant company, but no.
Yeah, they should take it, man, because AEW's not, there's a lot of people coming up and trying, so.
Yeah.
NWA's going to start their recordings. And I know we're getting ready to talk about Impact soon, so that's happening.
Yeah, speaking of which, because Impact is finally going to their new station, Access TV, in October, so that's going to be good for them, especially because
you can actually see them without getting complicated.
Right.
Just turn on the TV.
Because I know they've been partnering with Twitch in the last year to 2 years, which has been great because that's one way that you're able to watch it, but not everybody really knows a whole lot about Twitch. Because I know in the last 5 or 6 years, they've been on some really obscure channels, since they lost their deal with Spike TV. And
Access has already got a little bit of a wrestling fan base established because they've been showing the New Japan, I believe. So,
I believe that's what it was. Yeah. So I think it's a good home for them, and it's going to be kind of exciting to see where they're going. Because honestly, from what I've been seeing and the clips I've been watching, like their product in the last couple of years hasn't been that bad. It's actually been pretty good. It's just the fact that. They've shrunken so much.
And Sabu, and I think Rhino just made his return recently. So.
Yep.
That's kind of cool stuff. I always like hearing those names.
Yeah, because it's kind of, after they kind of went downhill there a little bit, now they're like fighting to get their way back up, which is great. I mean, it's nice to see them not go out of business, which is what
disappear.
Yeah. Because that's what a lot of people were thinking, was that they were going to end up going out of business and stuff just kind of after everything.
A few years ago.
Oh, God. I believe it was probably close. Because after the whole thing with Billy Corgan, when he was kind of taking it over and trying to buy it and stuff, I thought for sure it was not anything bad on Billy Corgan, because I thought he was going to be a good breath of fresh air. But then that whole legal thing happened and him losing out.
Worked out for the best.
Yeah.
He's responsible for all this NWA stuff.
Yep.
And I give him partial credit for AEW because he allowed Cody to come into NWA and kind of start the whole thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think it was beneficial for both
title more it gave the NWA title more, legitimacy.
Yep.
And it gave Cody a platform to start his. So.
Exactly.
All good stuff. And it should pay off in the future, too, I think.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. I agree 100%. So it's definitely a exciting time to be a wrestling fan, that's for sure, because this next week is kind of this pivotal turn, hopefully for the good, for the wrestling business as a whole, because obviously now NXT is on USA, and I believe their 2 hours is starting this week. Yeah, as well as all the changes.
I didn't realize when I first watched that, I only saw the hour. So the second hour was on the network. I was kind of disappointed. Even though I was against the 2 hours, I was expecting 2 hours. It's good to hear it's going to be on TV for everybody. It's time for people to see NXT, as long as it stays the same.
Exactly. Yeah, as long as Vince McMahon doesn't have his grubby little hands in it as much as he does everything else, it'll be good. So that's kind of the wrestling news we have for this week. Now, in our weekly Halloween news, we did take a little bit of a break last week because there really wasn't a whole lot going on last week for Halloween, with Halloween Kills coming up. But we did learn that it was announced this week that Nancy Stevens is returning in Halloween Kills. For those of you that don't know, Nancy Stevens played Nurse Marion in Halloween 1. She was in Halloween 2 as well, and then Halloween H2O, which obviously Halloween 2 and H2O has been retconned, but...
Yeah, they threw me off for a second when I heard it. I was like, wait a second, she already died. And then I was like, that's right. That didn't happen, Sean.
This is a different universe.
Tell me the Mandela effect's not real.
Right.
You shouldn't need a flow chart
good stuff
to follow your story arc. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I like what they say, because Halloween's basically like a choose your own adventure now, which I'm okay with.
But it's cool. I like her. It'd be fun to see her come back. So
Yeah.
a good cast announcement. Maybe she can head the group of all the poor kids who were traumatized by Michael.
Yeah, definitely.
Not that that's what's happening.
I mean, at this point, they've got almost the whole original cast from the first movie back, sans those that died. But, yeah, I mean, it's great to see all these returning faces on top of everybody else that survived in 2018. And I'm excited. Every week that we get more and more tidbits, I get more and more excited. Plus, I know we didn't really...
Trainer.
Right. So I know we didn't have this in the in our outline for this, but I did see a post yesterday. Somebody had snuck a shot of the first shot of Michael Myers from the new filming, and it looked like they were filming scenes from back in 1978.
Oh, cool.
So from what they were describing, it looked like the original Mask. And yeah, so that's exciting if they are indeed filming scenes from back in 78, just kind of different point of views or whatever the case may be. That's really cool. That's got me really excited. But that's our Halloween news for this week. Definitely keep tuned for more, because I'm sure more is going to be coming out as filming continues on, and obviously October next year the movie will be coming out. So I can't wait.
Yeah.
I'm so pumped.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm not as a huge fan of whatever you call this last one, Halloween.
2018.
I did, 2018. But I did enjoy it enough that I'm looking forward to see what these movies, and the casting for this seems great. So I'm looking forward to see what they can do with it. I mean, at least it's a movie from the franchise. Gets people excited about horror.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, I like the last one. I don't know. I'll look at more trailers.
I didn't hate it.
The next one will probably be good, because I didn't think the last one was going to be, and it proved me wrong. So we'll see.
I think it's gonna play more to my taste, just because they're incorporating more from like the first movie into it, and I think that's what gets me most excited. Just the whole nostalgia factor of it.
Yeah, that should be fun. That's what I'm enjoying. Just hearing the news updates.
Yeah.
Definitely. We are coming into October. We're recording this on Sunday night, the 29th. So next couple of days, it's going to be officially October and the month of Halloween. 31 days of terror. It's going to be great. So coming out on October 9th is a new comic book, and it's Victor Crowley's Halloween Tales.
Heck yeah, man. I'm looking forward to this. The covers look awesome. And I know one of the stories, it's called In the Company of Freaks, and I guess it's a circus freak show trying to capture Victor Crowley to make him part of their freak show. So
that's
that just
funny.
Sounds awesome. So and anything Victor Crowley or Hatchet is good to me.
Hell yes.
Oh, I agree.
Absolutely.
The thing that got me excited with this is that it's only $12 for the issue. I mean, obviously you do have the multiple covers, so you could always get multiple covers of it. But it does come signed by Adam Green too.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Man.
Which, oh my God, that's so cool. And it's so cheap for that.
Normally an autograph alone costs more than that. So
yeah.
Getting a cool story, cool collectible, all of it. It's a hell of a deal. Awesome. Perfect Halloween time, man. Perfect Halloween stuff.
Yeah, it's like the perfect way to kick off, the month of October is something like this. And I couldn't think of a better way. Cause I love the Hatchet films. Obviously, I still need to see Victor Crawley, but I do love the Hatchet films, and they're going to be in my rotation for this month for the Halloween season. So, like I said, I'm trying to watch one movie a day for the month of October.
I'm doing the same. I did it last year, and what I did was if I missed a day, I'd pull a double feature another day and do something like that.
Yeah.
I ended up watching
I've already been watching stuff. So.
I think I watched like 34 or 36 movies last October.
Yeah, I've already
That's
been watching
awesome.
a few things.
Yeah, I want to make that a tradition because that was really fun.
Watch Vengeance. Yeah, it's always fun, man. I always try to go over on Overkill. Since Fear Fest isn't all that, even though it is still around, which is crazy, but it's just not what it used to be. It's kind of,
it's really not.
I think they kind of show the same generic movies we like, but it's the same ones every year. We'll probably do a Friday marathon and a Halloween marathon, which I do throw my Halloween marathon in.
Yeah, with Fear Fest, you can always count on Friday the 13th. You can count on Halloween. Probably a couple Nightmare on Elm Streets.
They're definitely going to show Pet Sematary.
Right. A couple of the Child's Play movies.
Yeah. What's the one, Stephen King Rat one? They always show that. Or they used to always show that one. It's not one of the more popular ones.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I can't think of it, though.
Graveyard Shift.
That's it. Okay, yep. So that's usually one that you can count on, too. So, kind of going into some more horror movie news, maybe rumor, though. So, the news portion of it is Jordan Peele's produced Candyman film has wrapped filming this week, so they are finished filming. Now, coming out of the rumor mill from some different sources, and this is from separate sources that are quote-unquote confirming this, so whether or not it's true or not, we still remain to see. But there's been talk that Tony Todd is actually reprising his role as Candyman.
Yeah, I hope so, man. Like, I mean, I don't hate Jordan Peele's movies, but I'm not 100% sold on him all the way and everything yet. So, and I really have, enjoyed the Candyman movies, but a big part of the reason why was because of Tony Todd.
Yes.
Yep.
So I'm looking forward to if he's part of it, man. It's almost like, Robert Englund with Freddy. It's hard to
replace. It's like Brad Dourif with Chucky.
Yeah.
Even though Mark Hamill did a wonderful job as Chucky.
Oh yeah, Mark Hamill is a voice acting legend.
Yeah, it's definitely hard to replace Brad Dourif's voice, though.
It is. I hope this ends up being true, because they obviously have not announced who's actually playing Candyman yet.
Yeah, when you said they wrapped filming, I was surprised. I didn't even know they were already filming. So.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they've been filming for like a month or so.
That's wild.
And yeah, MGM definitely hasn't made any hints on who's playing
This is what I like
that,
sometimes, instead of so many trailers and news updates. Even though those are fun too, I like this mystery of not knowing.
It's almost like a Christmas present that you're waiting to open. It makes it exciting.
All we know is Candyman. Jordan Peele. That's it.
Yep, pretty much. So I'm excited. I'm excited to hear who's ending up being Candyman. I really do hope it is Tony Todd, though. But that's coming out June 12th next year, so that's another movie next year to be excited about, horror-wise.
Whoever it is, it can't be nearly as bad as Robert Pattinson being chosen for Batman.
That
still
bugs me a little bit, but I'm going in with open mind.
I'm not going to watch it.
Batman, so.
I still haven't seen Ben Affleck's Batman, and I never.
I was gonna. Yeah, there's a lot of poor Batman choices, I'll say, through the years.
Yeah.
And I thought Michael Keaton was a bad one way back when they first announced it. I was like, Michael Keaton, what are they thinking, dude? But he actually did a hell of a job.
Hell yeah. So did Val Kilmer.
Yes.
I thought it was.
Yeah.
But George Clooney, No,
No.
Yeah, Clooney.
That
No,
was-
no.
No, I don't like his Batman, but I think that movie gets shit on way too much. That movie was fun. Arnold was fucking great.
Arnold was the only thing I could handle in that movie. Everything else
Yes.
for me just sucked.
He just cracked me up. He was fun to watch.
Yeah.
It does get a lot of hate, but it's not my
Yeah.
He was on I saw a YouTube thing that had the top worst movie villains of all time, and he was like number 2. Like, are you kidding me?
Oh, wow.
Oh, jeez. I'll disagree with that. But
Yeah.
it's like, I was just talking about that people say the worst slasher and then say something from one of the main franchises. It's like, you have not seen enough horror movies to even talk.
Right.
To
Yeah.
even have an opinion.
Right. I could go on about that for a while. I've been dealing with that a lot with people lately.
Save that for a future
Just-
podcast.
Just because you watch
Yeah.
horror movies in October doesn't mean you're a fan of horror.
Right?
Just means you enjoy it. Yeah.
You just get in the spirit of the season.
Yeah. You're having
Yep.
fun. Which is cool.
Which there's nothing wrong with that. But
Yeah.
so that's the news that we have for Candyman this week. So kind of moving into some upcoming movies that are coming shortly. Now, to kind of start things off, we got a movie that's coming out with Jeffrey Combs called Holiday Hell. That's actually coming out on November 1st. This one kind of looks cheesy, but it could possibly be fun. It kind of reminds me of a lot of like a movie that you would see directly going to Shudder or something like that.
Yeah, it reminds me of like a Full Moon production, especially with Jeffrey Combs being like seems like almost like he's the host of different stories with the objects he has. That's the only thing that kind of made me want to see it, was seeing Jeffrey Combs in that role. So it does look cheesy though, but it might be a fun little B movie.
I agree. It looks like it looks like it might be fun, but it might be terrible too. But at the same time, it's horror.
Jeffrey
so-
Combs, I'll give it a chance.
Exactly. Now, the next one that's on our list is actually coming out October 18th. This one actually has Bill Moseley. It's called Devil's Junction, Handy Dandy's Revenge. This is another one that looks low budget, but it looks really fun, and it's got talking
It
puppets.
looked
And
like it
obviously,
had potential, man. That's for sure.
yeah,
And Killer
And obviously-
Dolls always kind of fuck with me. So.
right. And then who doesn't love Bill fucking Moseley? I mean,
Right.
Exactly.
he's great in anything he
If
does.
I watch it, it'll be because of him.
Yeah.
There you
The,
go.
I agree.
The movie didn't look, other than him, the movie didn't look that interesting to me, personally.
Yeah.
But it was just
Yeah,
a trailer.
right. It seemed like it was. You can kind of tell what the story is, but at the same time, it kind of felt like it was kind of all over the place too,
Yeah.
Yeah.
just from the trailer.
Yeah, trailers, they're a weird thing. So
It
Right.
did look at the high end of low production value movies though. But you could still
Yeah.
tell it
Yeah.
was low pro.
I
sometimes
agree.
you can find a gem there. So,
Yeah.
Bill Moseley, gotta give him a chance, I guess, right?
Right. Definitely. So that one's once again coming out October 18th. That one looks all right. And then our final one that we kind of looked at also comes out October 18th. Now this one actually is, out of the three that we kind of looked at, is the one I'm kind of looking forward to the most. This one's got Armie Hammer and Dakota Johnson in it. It's called Wounds. I like that the trailer didn't give a whole lot away.
I was interested.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I wasn't really sure what was going on, man, but it was enough that I was like, this looks cool, man. And Hulu's done a good job with some of their, horror stuff, so definitely
Oh, agreed.
Yeah.
give this a shot as soon as it comes out. Hulu's been doing better than some of the people do. So,
Hulu's been doing
Right.
better in all kinds of different genres.
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
They're
no,
actually
definitely.
quietly, doing their own thing. But
I dropped Funimation
glad to
for
see it,
Hulu
so.
just because they had better anime.
That's great. Yeah, because if you look at Hulu, because even with the horror genre, they have that monthly series Into the Dark, where every month it's a
Yeah.
different.
that one that
Basically
came out last
horror movie.
Christmas was freaking great, dude. That one.
Yeah, Puka. That was
yeah.
great.
I enjoyed that one.
I liked their Thanksgiving one last year too, with the
Yeah, I
the
haven't
girl
seen that
finds
one
out her
yet. I want
dad's.
to though. Yeah.
Yeah, it's basically a girl thinks her dad's a serial killer, and it's great, and it takes place over Thanksgiving. Oh, it's awesome.
Yeah, I enjoy
love
stuff like that. It reminds me, even though they're movies and it's once a month, it kind of reminds me of Masters of Horror and
Yes,
Tales from the Crypt
definitely.
in a way and things like that. So
Yeah, it definitely gave me that
dose of
vibe.
something every month.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it definitely really reminded me of Masters of Horror, especially because it definitely felt more like that, just because those were kind of more feature length a lot of times too.
Yeah.
And these are definitely not like hour-long TV shows. These are feature-length movies, basically, every month. And it got renewed for a second season. So that's another little tidbit we haven't talked about, is that Hulu did renew that for the second season.
Awesome. I didn't realize that. Well, that's
yeah,
cool.
so their Halloween one's coming out here
going.
shortly. Exactly. And it's produced by Blumhouse, so I mean, I always just talk up Blumhouse, but I love their stuff, so.
And they do good stuff. I don't enjoy everything they do, but they do some good
They're
stuff.
hit or miss for me, but mostly hit, I would say.
Right.
They're definitely
I agree.
I would say one of the top money making
But
production.
I mean, that's the way like Lionsgate used to be for me, and then they started pumping out some really bad movies.
Yeah.
If you, in my honest opinion, if you're running a company, you can't if you want to do it right, you can't just have all hits. Like you got to.
Oh no, absolutely.
You got to keep putting products out there, and you got to keep things churning out to keep people interested.
Yeah, man.
You got to be careful. You don't want to turn out all crap. But there's bound to be crap involved in there sometimes.
Yeah.
Well,
New Line Cinema was great, but they sure as hell didn't always have a hit.
No.
Oh no, definitely
absolutely
not.
not. I mean, Freddy versus Jason, case in point. But if you want to
It's a
catch
very
a lot
good
of fish,
case in
you got to
point.
cast a wide net. So you might as well just throw out all kinds of different things.
It's true.
And there's people out there that love that movie.
Oh yeah, I know plenty of people that will argue till they die with me about that movie.
I will say though, like we discovered when we were given our list of Friday, and our first Fridays seem to be our number one. A lot of the people I know that like that movie only like it. I won't say only like it. They like it because it's one of the first ones they saw. It's what introduced them to both characters. They were young, so
yeah,
I get it in that respect. So
I don't hate it to the point where I won't watch it. It's not Part 9 hate, but someone else is going to have to pick it for me to watch.
I watch Part 9 and I watch Part 9 and that before I watch the remake of it.
Oh man.
Yeah, see, Freddy versus Jason, I gotta be kind of in a mood for. Like, I'll be honest, I went to the theater twice to see it. When it first came out, I loved it. Now, over the years, it's not a great movie, obviously, but yeah,
I watch it when I marathon the Fridays because my daughter enjoys it, so I always throw it in there for her sake.
And that's when you go to the
it's
kitchen
not the worst
and make
movie.
Food and catch up on your house chores.
It's not my favorite, but it's definitely not the worst. It's not the worst slasher ever.
No.
Sure.
Start loading.
I definitely will watch that before I'll watch Jason Goes to Hell. So
yeah, that one doesn't.
So that's me
as much as it does y'all. So.
That movie can go to hell for all I'm concerned.
Right. I'm right there with you.
The kills in it make it shine.
They are good. They are good.
Than Jason versus
and Jason.
The
Jason
kills
does
are good.
Look pretty cool.
Yes.
When he's the limited time there.
Yeah. The whole 3 minutes he's in the movie.
But I do agree with her. I hate the whole body transfer thing and all that. I've always hated that too.
I would have loved it. If
that's
it
why
was
when I first saw the movie, I had the same response y'all did. I was like, "Fuck this! I hate this. Jason's dead. This is stupid." But for whatever reason, there's little things. The kills. The guy from the Friday the 13th, the series. I can't remember the actor's name at the moment, but he's in it. He's the main.
Oh yeah,
John D. LeMay.
Yeah. Yes, thank you. And the music, so it almost felt like a cheesy Friday the 13th, the series tried to do a Jason movie and fucked it up. So.
Best part of that movie, Creighton Duke died. What a worthless piece of crap.
Yeah, that character Yeah.
He's like that annoying NPC in the video game that keeps telling you
Duke's
to be in your mission, but you just want to go out and do side quests.
Yep.
I don't know if that's still going on. Is Adam Marcus still doing the Creighton thing? I know he was trying to.
Yeah, I know he was, but yeah, I haven't heard anything recently about that.
Me either. So.
Hopefully not.
Well, I mean, as far as like other fans I've seen like on social media and stuff talking about it that don't like the movie as well, I don't have any animosity towards Adam Marcus for making that movie. Because you know what? If someone,
a lot of people really hate.
If someone came to me, if freaking Warner Brothers came to me right now and said, "We want you to make Fortnite the movie," I'd be like, "Fuck yeah, let's make this goddamn movie." Yeah. I don't know shit about Fortnite
too. Yeah, I've told y'all that too. I'll go make any day. Like if they're offering me the contract to do what I've always wanted to do and actually get some good money out of it, I want to make the fuck out of it.
I don't care. Just put my name out there. Let somebody grab me for something I actually want to do.
Gets my name out there, and now I have money. And if I don't act like a complete idiot, I can take this money and start my own shit now.
Exactly. Exactly.
Gotta let them doorways.
Yeah.
You can't always throw them shut, man. You gotta take advantage sometimes.
Yep, like sometimes you just gotta roll with the punches.
It's like you expect the motherfucker
let them take advantage of you, and you take advantage of them.
Yep.
You both can come out on top.
You gotta game the game.
With that being said, with the news, the last piece of news that we really have, and this is kind of, what we wanted to talk about tonight, is we did lose a legend on the 21st. We'd talked about in recent weeks about Sid Haig and, the accident that he had because he took a fall in his home, ended up in the ICU, and unfortunately we did lose him on the 21st. He had it sucks. I mean, he had a long life. I mean, he was 80. I mean, it kind of felt like it was going that way, especially when we stopped hearing updates. And, it was definitely heartbreaking when his wife announced it on their Instagram page, that he had passed. And because he's done so much, and he loved his fans so much. I mean, you couldn't find anybody that loved their fans nearly as much.
I actually found out
Sid
through
Haig.
Rob Zombie's, I guess it was his Facebook, and he put a good paragraph or two about him. It was excellently said. I can't remember right now, but it was perfect, man. Sid was a great guy. I think he touched everybody, man, not just in the business, but out of the business, and not even just horror fans. Like, this man is one of the most working people in Hollywood. Like, I think, what most people know now from his horror career, that was his resurgence. He had a huge career before that.
Yeah, it makes...
I mean, if you look at...
I was saying, what you said made me think of the To Hell and Back Kane Hodder story, where Sid Haig was talking about Kane Hodder and how he handles the convention scene. And a lot of people in the Friday films, the fan base knows that Kane Hodder spearheaded most of the convention scene for Friday the 13th. And Sid Haig was like, he's one of the few guys that get it. It's not for the money. It's not for us. It's for the fans. He said, we used to be them, and now we get to entertain them. It's like Sid Haig.
Yeah. I'll agree with Sid on that.
Absolutely, yeah. He was just such a down-to-earth man.
Always charging the least amount. At the conventions. Like,
never up in his price.
No.
Yeah. Always willing to do interviews. Like, after he passed, and there were so many people putting interviews up that they had taken with him. So, I mean, he was always just... I mean, technically they're working, but, those conventions, man, they spend so much time just sitting there and signing and doing all those things. It's a lot of work all day long. And and I felt like he was doing it simply out of the love for the fans. It wasn't to earn a check.
Yeah.
Right.
And the amount he was charging, he was probably just paying for his expenses.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised to find out that he just dropped that money in the damn collection box for the convention and walked out. Right. He had his Sid Mart going, and he had the movies with Rob Zombie. They were living comfortable, and they're not they're not greedy people.
No, definitely not. I mean, with all the shit that you used to be able to buy, from his website and what he would sign. I mean,
and all the free shit he would give
so much work into that. Yeah. always constantly free stuff, you know, for
Yeah,
the fans.
so
that
much
would buy
better than
stuff.
when I went to. I love Robert Englund, but his website was not as
Jesus
great,
Christ,
cool shit. But I
$100.
could never afford none of it.
Right. And that's not shitting on Robert Englund.
Not at all.
He's earned it.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
earned it, definitely. But
Just a completely
You know.
different experience is what I was trying to say.
yeah, no, definitely.
It's like it went from damn I'll never get this to oh crap, this guy's awesome.
Right. With Sid, he just, like I said, he really loved his fans. He always took time to talk to each and every fan that went up to him at conventions, because I've been fortunate enough, you know, to see him multiple times over the years since my first convention back in like 2011, 2012, something like that, because he was the first guest I got to meet.
That's
And
awesome.
you know, we got to be at a celebrity dinner with him, so we got to have dinner with him, talk with him,
Oh,
all
cool.
that.
Very cool.
And
I got to see him one time,
Yeah.
but it was a brief, 5-minute, 6-minute conversation.
yeah, if you were lucky enough to meet Sid, it was definitely the highlight. I mean, that man was
Yeah,
so
he was one of my
intelligent.
favorite people to meet. Like, I wish I'd had more time, but it was a long line.
Yeah,
And I try not to be that guy that stands up there the whole time.
right. No, definitely. But yeah, I mean, he was so intelligent and just so eloquent with, you know, what he would talk about. Because if, like you mentioned about the interviews that people started putting up, if you watch some of those interviews, he had so much knowledge that he just wanted to pass along.
Yeah, like you'll see
And-
some entertainers' interviews, it's almost a repeat every time, but they were all, you could just tell he was talking from himself and what he knew.
Yeah, just from his experiences, and even when he would get into his political stuff, which I hate political stuff, but for whatever reason, when Sid talked politics, it was always for the people
Yeah.
and everybody as a whole, not one side or another. It was always, you know, about how we can make this country better for ourselves. And that was always exciting, you know, hearing him talk about that kind of stuff too, because I fucking hate politics. But there's just for some reason, when he would talk about politics, he wouldn't make it where, you know,
Some
screw
people
this side,
are
screw
make
that
it
side.
easier to listen to. Exactly. They're not
Oh, yeah.
so entrenched in, right or left that they actually can have an
Yep.
opinion.
Yeah.
Listening to him
But-
talk about politics at the convention last year was really funny. And Bill Moseley
Yeah.
was up there with them, and they seemed to see eye to eye, so they were pinging jokes off of each other. It was pretty funny.
That's great.
I can't remember the exact joke. but
Bill
he said
Mosley's another
something-
great one to me, man. He's fun.
He said something to the effect that we already have a clown president and that he's a much better clown or something like that.
That's a different discussion altogether, but yeah, he's funny. He's so funny. Oh my God. I mean, you look at Sid's body of work. His first role was in a student film back in 1960.
And I don't think
And-
he ever fully stopped working since.
No, he worked up until basically he,
So many
took
parts
that
on,
tumble.
sitcoms and sci-fi shows and movies. I mean, he was on TV and movies, not just movies. Like, I know he's on Star Trek and Just the 10 of Us. Just stuff coming off the top of my head.
Yeah, definitely.
Besides the great, B movies and drive-in movies that some of us remember from way back.
Yep.
In the 70s. They're not
Yeah,
big
'cause I know
name
he was-
movies, but, it's definitely why Rob knew who he was.
Right. Yeah, because he kind of had that first boom in those blaxploitation
Yeah.
from the 70s with Jack Hill's movies. So you had
Yeah.
like Coffee, Foxy Brown, Spider Baby,
Yeah, I
different things
remember.
like that. So, he got to work with George Lucas too. Got to be, in a Bond movie. I mean, he's
Yeah.
really kind of done it all. And then on top of all that, I mean, he was also a musician too, because he played the fucking drums. I mean, he was all around talented.
Yeah, that's awesome. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I didn't know that
About
either.
the drums. Huh.
Oh yeah, definitely. But yeah, I mean, it's such a blow that he had left us, and
Yeah.
but it was so cool seeing everybody come together, in the wake of finding out about him passing away. Like you were saying, even people that weren't even, necessarily horror fans
Yeah,
about how
like,
he had touched their
caught
lives.
me by surprise, man. It's one of the biggest responses to a celebrity death I've seen in a while.
Oh yeah, my Facebook feed's still cluttered with Sid Haig posts.
I was really like, it caught me. I knew people loved him, but I thought it was kind of a horror convention kind of thing. I didn't realize like it was a worldwide thing. This guy's got like Michael Jackson credit, so.
Yeah.
Which is awesome.
He busted his ass for it.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's good. He's got, all that work was, it paid off. So it's good.
That's
we
for
all
sure.
appreciate, we all showed our appreciation. So.
That's for sure. But yeah, I mean, just kind of looking at his work and stuff. I mean, there's so many things I didn't know he was in. A lot of stuff, that I've seen that he was in. I mean, I didn't know that he was like in the fucking Dukes of Hazzard. At least one episode of that.
Yeah, I was scrolling through.
I knew about
a few
Batman,
days ago, and I was like, "Holy cow!" I didn't know some of the stuff.
Because I knew he was on Batman. I knew Star Trek as well. But yeah, like Dukes of Hazzard, MacGyver. I mean,
oh wow,
those.
MacGyver. I didn't know.
Yeah,
he's got to do every cool show, man.
Right. But yeah.
That would be so fun. Like, I mean, I'm not even like, I would rather make a movie than be an actor. But
right.
I think it would be so fun to just play these character bit parts and different random things like that. Like, I wouldn't mind doing that. If I ended up
it'd be fun.
Oh, yeah.
That's the only kind of acting I honestly would enjoy doing. Instead of like a main role or something like that. I gotta be, some kind of character. Something that's not my normal self.
Right.
So I can have fun.
I agree.
Throw a little bit of my normal crazy self in.
Yeah, definitely. I was kind of thinking back, trying to figure out the first time I had saw Sid in something. And I think the first time I had saw him in anything was probably Jackie Brown. When he played the judge in there.
Yeah. I was going to say the same thing.
Yeah, that'd have to be for me too.
That and like when I started, I've seen him in a few movies that I had seen that I didn't realize I had seen him in, if that makes sense. Until I was older and recognized him, and then I was like, damn, I didn't realize he's been in this movie this whole time. So, like, there was it was one of the blaxploitation ones. I think it might have been Foxy Brown. I can't remember. But he just did so much, man. He was all over the place. So.
Yeah. Yeah, like that Bond film, Diamonds Are Forever. I didn't realize that was him.
Yeah, that
that
was one too because he has a
Bond
different
films.
look too. In that,
Yep.
You know what I mean? So that blew me away because I loved Bond when I was younger. Man, I watched all the movies.
Oh, definitely.
Once.
Yep, me as well.
And I'm named.
Yeah, so that was wild.
So I had to watch that.
There you go. Yeah, he's been in so many things. Like even his later stuff, because obviously the first time I saw him was Jackie Brown, but then after House of a Thousand Corpses came out, that kind of cemented everything, and then like I had to start watching everything that he was in, and
that's one of the best openings of a movie.
Oh my god, that opening was great. That whole because that movie is great, but then like the DVD when you put that in, his whole like menu video that plays for like 4 minutes of him just insulting you basically.
Yeah.
That's so good too.
It's on the Blu-ray too.
Oh, is it?
On mine
Okay.
it is. I got the double feature. Actually got it signed by Sid Haig.
Nice. I've got so much stuff signed by Sid.
It's
because,
funny.
Like
I have the picture signed. I always get pictures for whatever reason. I always think it after the fact.
Yeah.
And I should have had someone sign this. Like I always forget my Crystal Lake Memories book when I go. So I got all these Friday people, but none of them's in the book.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I've got so many things signed by Sid just because of how low his prices were. I always tried to get as many autographs from him as possible. I had so many like personal things that I brought that I had him sign. I had like a bobblehead of Captain Spaulding. I had this picture that I had purchased this year that was like a drawing of Captain Spaulding. And that one's pretty cool. That one's hanging up in my office above my desk now.
Nice.
Especially after everything. So between that and I've got a bunch of pictures too that I had him sign that he had, for sale, and posters, kind of a little bit of everything.
So, what's your guys' favorite Sid Haig movie?
That's hard because
That's easy for me. Hatchet 3.
All right, yeah, I'm gonna look up the list. Agreed.
Faggot.
Because when I heard he died, I looked up two things. I looked up the opening of House of 1,000 Corpses, and I looked up that scene from Hatchet 3. And I watched it about 3 times. It was so great.
I am a veteran. I went all the way to Korea.
Korea.
Oh, he played that so good. Such a racist old man.
It was so funny.
What'd you say, faggot? I ain't no faggot. I understand you mumbling all the time. Oh, he did it perfect, man. I've known a few crazy old men like that.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I still do.
It was believable.
But to answer your question, it would probably either be more than likely Devil's Rejects, because that's my favorite out of the 3.
Yeah.
But a close second is going to be House of 1,000 Corpses.
Well, he got a lot more screen time in Devil's Rejects.
Yeah.
He wasn't in the movie in
True.
House for very much, except for the beginning and the end.
Yeah.
Well, he was still in there in the middle, too, because when the cops show up at his shop, too.
Yeah, true.
But, so more than likely probably Devil's Rejects, because that's my favorite out of this series, so. But he's had so many other movies come out, especially recently. Like, if you haven't seen High on the Hog, that's his most recent full movie that he was in. That was pretty good.
I haven't seen that.
I haven't seen it either.
That might be a good one for you on 420, Sean.
Always ready to throw another one in the rotation.
Yep. Getting tired of watching Evil Ball?
That one, it's hard for me. That's not one I throw in there.
I haven't seen it yet. It looks so bad.
Yes, and it is. It's literally in one room the whole movie. It's not good. But I've heard the sequels are a little bit better. So
yeah,
there's definitely much better pop movies than that. But I'll tell you, most of the recent pop movies suck. So that's not the suck.
Well, I mean, to be honest,
most
pop movies in general suck.
Yeah. There's a few good ones.
Yeah, true.
Yeah,
How
you got
High,
some great
very
ones.
true.
How High, Half Baked.
Yeah.
And there's one or two Cheech and Chong's I like. Most of those are kind of stupid too, though. Like, I love Up in Smoke.
Yeah,
Up in Smoke is good.
That one's good.
For the most part, all them Hansel and Gretel weed movies and shit like that.
Oh, fuck those. Fuck
like, you're not smoking weed if you enjoy them movies. You're smoking something else.
But yeah, Sid, we're gonna miss you.
Yes, rest in peace, Sid.
It's not gonna be the same without you. I mean, conventions are definitely not gonna be the same.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. There's gonna be. I think it was Days of the Dead said they're gonna set up his table anyway. Still at all their upcoming.
They
shows.
did, and they set up a chicken bucket with Captain Spaulding on it, and all the money.
Oh, that's so cool.
And then you just put money in the bucket, and they give it to the family.
Oh, cool.
That's cool.
Yeah,
I saw that.
Yeah, I had read that the other day they were gonna do it at all the shows, so that's awesome, man. So he's still there doing this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's so cool. Yeah, there'll never be another like Sid.
No.
Definitely not. Not somebody that loves their fans and what they did as much as he did. And it definitely was a huge loss. We definitely lost a treasure and a legend, but his memory's going to live on. Everybody that got to meet him, all of his movies. I mean, there's a whole body of work there, for future generations to be able to indulge in and see. And it's good and sad at the same time.
Happens to all of us at some point. But not that makes it any easier.
Yes, you are all going to die.
Some of you sooner than the rest That didn't
Way to
sound
end it
nice,
on
did
a
it?
real sinister note.
Lucky contestant in seat 37G. Come on down.
Mm.
The Price is Right.
Come on down.
I'll turn that joke around on him yet.
Right. But we do want to thank you guys for checking out the podcast tonight. It was great to be able to talk about Sid, especially after, his whole life and work that he gave to us. I'm sure a lot of people got into horror movies because of him and a lot of other things because of him. I mean, he was great at what he did, and he's going to be sorely missed, that's for sure. But like I said, there's a whole body of work there for people to continue to watch and to glean from. It's going to be good. And we love you guys. We thank you for checking out tonight's episode. You can always interact with us on Facebook or any of our social media platforms at CLS Podcast. But until next week, we will see you guys later.
Slay you later, I guess.
Thanks for joining us today for the CLS Podcast. Check us out at www.clspodcast.com or join in the conversation on social media with the hashtag CLS Podcast. Until next time, stay safe, campers.